Commander HFY of the Thraxi hegemony couldn't contain his amusement as the human fleet appeared on the edge of the Kepler 442 system. Through his bio-enhanced optical sensors, he observed what could only be described as museum pieces floating through the void. "Look at these primitives," he chittered to his bridge crew, his forearms gesturing dismissively at the tactical display. Are those actually metal hulls, with rivets?" His tactical officer, a young Thraxi named Kilvin, magnified the image further. "Sir, our scans indicate they're using some form of chemical propulsion, and those protrusions along their sides, projectile weapons." HFY's mandibles clicked in what passed for laughter among his species. They brought kinetic weapons to a plasma fight. How delightfully archaic. The human fleet consisted of 12 vessels, each roughly the size of a Thraxi destroyer, but built with the aesthetic sensibilities of an ancient seagoing navy. Their hulls were painted in dull grays and blues, scarred by micrometeorite impacts and the wear of long journeys. Compared to the sleek, crystalline elegance of Thraxi ships, their surfaces rippling with energy shields and quantum field generators, the human vessels looked like crude toys. Admiral Chen Wei stood on the bridge of the UES Constitution, watching the alien fleet through her own instruments. Unlike the Thraxi, she wasn't amused. Her weathered face remained stoic as she studied the enemy formation. 47 ships arranged in a perfect geometric pattern, their hulls shimmering with advanced defensive technologies that could deflect most known energy weapons. "Ma'am," reported Lieutenant Torres from the communications station, "we're receiving a transmission from the lead Thraxi vessel." On screen, Commander HFY's image materialized, his translator converting his chittering into accented English. "Humans of Earth, I am Commander HFY of the Thraxi Third Fleet. Your vessels are quaint. Surely you don't intend to oppose us with such antiquated craft?" Chen stepped forward, her hands clasped behind her back. "Commander, I'm Admiral Chen Wei of the United Earth Navy. You are trespassing in human space and threatening civilian colonies. Withdraw immediately." The alien's mandibles clicked rapidly, their equivalent of human laughter. "Admiral, your reputation precedes you. The Ghost of Vega Prime, they call you. But even legends must face reality. My ships carry plasma cannons that can vaporize asteroids, quantum torpedoes that phase through matter, and shield generators powered by contained singularities. What can your historical curiosities possibly accomplish?" Chen's expression didn't change. "You'll find out soon enough. This is your final warning." The transmission ended, and HFY turned to his crew with obvious mirth. "Begin the attack formation. Target their largest vessel first. Let's give them a demonstration of modern warfare." As the Thraxi fleet advanced, their ships began to glow with barely contained energy. Plasma conduits along their hulls pulsed with lethal light, and the space around them shimmered with defensive fields that bent light itself. On the Constitution, Admiral Chen watched the alien approach with the patience of a predator. "All ships," she broadcast on the fleet channel, "prepare for combat. Load." The special packages. Throughout the human fleet, massive gun ports that had seemed decorative began to iris open. The antiquated weapons that had drawn such mockery were revealed in their true glory. Railguns the size of subway cars, their magnetic coils beginning to charge with devastating potential. But it was the other weapons that would prove most surprising. "Ma'am," Torres reported, "all ships report ready. Tungsten rods loaded and charged." Chen nodded. "Fire." The first salvo from the human fleet was unlike anything the galaxy had seen in 1,000 years. Instead of energy beams or exotic particles, solid projectiles erupted from the human ships at significant fractions of light speed. The Thraxi, shields designed to deflect or absorb energy weapons, offered no resistance to chunks of tungsten traveling at relativistic velocities. 3 Thraxi ships simply ceased to exist, their hulls punctured by projectiles that carried the kinetic energy of small nuclear weapons. The remaining vessels reeled in formation, their commanders struggling to comprehend what had just occurred. "Impossible!" HFY shrieked. "Their weapons are primitive. How did they—" "Sir!" Kilvin interrupted. Our shields don't stop solid matter at those velocities. The projectiles are too fast, too dense. The second human salvo arrived before he could finish. This time it wasn't just tungsten rods. The humans had loaded their magnetic accelerators with more exotic ammunition, shells filled with molten metal that spread like shotgun blasts, depleted uranium penetrators that could punch through armor plating, and most devastating of all, simple iron spheres wrapped in nuclear charges. The Thraxi formation collapsed as ship after ship fell to weapons their creators had considered obsolete. Energy shields meant to stop plasma beams and particle weapons were useless against chunks of metal moving at appreciable fractions of light speed. Advanced armor that could withstand temperatures hotter than stellar cores crumpled under the simple, brutal force of kinetic impact. HFY watched his fleet disintegrate around him, his mind reeling. How is this possible? These weapons are ancient, barbaric. Admiral Chen's voice crackled over the comm system, broadcast to every surviving Thraxi ship. Commander, let me educate you about human military philosophy. While you spent centuries perfecting energy weapons and exotic technologies, we never forgot the fundamental truth of warfare. It doesn't matter how sophisticated your defense is, if I can hit you hard enough. Another salvo screamed across the void. The humans had found their range now, and their targeting computers, primitive by galactic standards but devastatingly effective, had calculated the optimal firing solutions. More Thraxi ships died, their hulls split open by projectiles that delivered more kinetic energy than most civilizations used to power their cities. Your shields stop energy, Chen continued, her voice calm and professional as she watched another alien vessel break apart. They were never designed to stop a tungsten rod moving at 30,000 kilometers per second. Your armor can withstand plasma hotter than stars, but it can't handle the simple physics of mass times velocity squared. HFY's ship shuddered as a railgun slug grazed its hull, the impact sending shockwaves through the vessel's superstructure. Around him, his remaining ships began to scatter, their formation broken by panic and the simple, terrible effectiveness of kinetic weapons. You see, Commander, Chen's voice continued, while the rest of the galaxy moved toward more and more exotic weapons, humanity went in the opposite direction. We perfected the art of throwing rocks really, really hard, and sometimes the simplest solutions are the most effective. The battle was over in less than 10 minutes. Of the 47 ships in HFY's fleet, only 12 survived, and those were too damaged to pose any threat. The human fleet, meanwhile, remained virtually untouched. Their enemies' energy weapons had proven as ineffective against human armor as human kinetics had been devastating against Thraxi shields. As the surviving alien ships limped toward the edge of the system, Admiral Chen allowed herself a small smile. The galaxy would learn, as the Thraxi had learned, that there was wisdom in the old ways. Sometimes the most advanced technology was no match for a very large rock thrown very, very hard. In the depths of space, the UES Constitution and her sister ships maintained their watch, their ancient guns cooled and ready. The universe had laughed at humanity's outdated ships. The cannons had spoken in reply.